So we're back in Haven, and as usual, we're going to talk with everyone we can, because I'm sure I'm not done having conversation with all of them.
Something you needed.
Tell me something more about
I should
yourself.
get to know you better. We're working together after all.
What would you like to know?
All right. Where are you from?
How to act for Elden.
I grew up in Ferelden, near Holland. I was transferred to Kirkwall shortly after the Blight. This is the first I've returned in almost 10 years.
You were away a long time.
You haven't seen Ferelden in 10 years. Are you glad to be back?
I was not sorry to leave at the time. I did not expect to return. Now, between the Divine's murder and the breach, I've arrived to find nothing but chaos.
Not the homecoming you were hoping for, huh?
You were in Ferelden during the Blight. Did you fight Darkspawn?
No. I was stationed at Ferelden's Circle Tower. The Circle had
that
troubles
didn't go
of its
well.
own. I remained there during the Blight.
Yeah, I know what happened.
What happened at the Circle Tower?
You who survived the Blight have fond memories of that time. I would prefer not to speak of it.
We need to win his trust for that.
What was Kirkwall like?
While I was there, Canary occupied and then attacked the city. The Viscount's murder caused political unrest. Relations between mages and templars fell apart. An apostate blew up the chantry, and the Knight Commander went mad. Other than that, it was fine.
There was something about the rebellion.
What happened between Kirkwall's mages and templars?
You were at the Conclave. You must have heard people speak of it.
Yes, but you were there.
There was tension between mages and templars long before I arrived. Eventually, it reached a breaking point. There was fighting in the streets. Abominations began killing both sides. It was a nightmare.
So, I know how it ends, but I want to
What
hear it.
happened then?
The Templars should have restored order, but Red Lyrium had driven Knight Commander Meredith mad. She threatened to kill Kirkwall's champion, turned on her own men. I'm not sure how far she would have gone. Too far.
So you opposed her?
I stood with the champion against her, in the end. I should have seen through Meredith sooner.
Varric's from Kirkwall.
Varric's from Kirkwall. Did you two know each other?
I knew he was friends with the champion of Kirkwall, but little else. We've spoken more since I joined the Inquisition, largely at Varric's insistence. Apparently, I spend too much time with a serious expression on my face, and it's bad for my health.
He knows someone with that kind of experience.
I'll let you
about that
return to
sort
your
of
work.
stuff.
Another time, then.
Alright then. Cassandra, anything more interesting to tell?
Greetings.
Let's talk about the Chantry.
May I ask you about the Chantry?
It is difficult to say what becomes of the Chantry now.
But what
They
was
have
it
no
like?
Templars, no leadership, and no one left who is worthy of succeeding the Divine. It has fallen apart when everyone needs it the most. I ache to think what this will mean in the days to come.
Should the Chantry be saved?
Do you really believe the Chantry is worth preserving?
If you ask my opinion, it is. Absolutely. Cast the Chantry aside and new problems replace old ones. We will have learned nothing from history. The people need stability, and the Chantry needs a new purpose. Andraste had a dream for us. It can still be achieved.
What kind of purpose?
So what should that new purpose be?
A dedication to what is truly important. Instead of building cathedrals and sewing gowns for the Divine, the Chantry used to spend its coin feeding the poor. If we are to spread the Maker's word across the world, we must do so with open hearts and open hands.
You sound like an idealist.
That sounds rather idealistic of you.
Does it? I do not think it's so unachievable.
Neither
The
do I.
Chantry has many good, honest people. They just need direction and inspiration. They need to be freed from centuries of adherence to tradition and ceremony. A chance for renewal is at our fingertips. It does not have to come with utter chaos.
I want to know more about Roderick.
What influence does Chancellor Roderick really wield?
He's a bureaucrat, responsible for communicating the Divine's will to the rest of the Chantry.
So he's a
Therefore,
messenger boy.
He's accustomed to the clerics hanging on his every word, hoping his influence will benefit them. Despite that, Roderick is not a bad man. He's frightened, and believes his place is to fill the gap left by Most Holy's death. Some might agree. As far down the chain of command as he is, there is no one left above him.
Will he be a problem, though?
How big a problem could he be?
No more than he is already. He sent his message to the College of Clerics. That is the only card he had to play. Dealing with him further only lends him credibility he doesn't deserve.
Will there be a new Divine?
Will the Chantry replace Divine Justinian?
Well, not
They will try.
exactly her.
Once the priests withdraw for the Grand Consensus, it is against Chantry law for them to emerge without naming a new Divine. Sometimes it takes days, or weeks, or even months. The problem now is that no clear successor to Justinia exists. All
That has
worthy
been made
clerics
very
died
clear.
with her to conclave.
What if they don't agree? Well, then we have a problem.
So what happens if they can't agree on someone?
Theoretically, they will argue until exhaustion takes them or they see reason. Practically, however, if the Grand Consensus goes on too long, the Chantry will crumble. Any cleric with ambition but little sense will see this as her one chance, and plenty of such clerics exist. We shall
Power
see what
mongers.
happens. The Inquisition must act in the meantime.
Would you serve a new Divine?
If they do choose a new Divine, will you serve her?
That depends on whether she would have me. I am a rebel now, remember?
Good
And even
point.
if she would, I do not know. It would depend on what type of divine she is. I am no longer in a position to follow blindly, and no new divine could expect such obedience now.
No. Why did you leave the Chantry?
I'm surprised you rebelled against the Chantry.
I left my own order when they took the wrong path. It is no different. But in neither case did I stop caring. Indeed, I care so much that I feel drastic action is necessary. I suppose history shall one day judge my actions.
That's it.
Thank you.
Alright. More talking. There will be a lot of talking. And I don't care, because talking is awesome. In this game, you learn a lot of things. So that's why we continue to talk. This leads to one of... Wait. Blackwall has a job? Wait, Blackwall's down there? Nobody said he was down there. Let's see if we can find it. Oh, he just made his home here. Blackwall, come here! We need to talk. We need to talk. That is
Take a
one
look
awesome
at it.
beard.
So much easier to ignore when it's far away.
Yeah, maybe, but
And to actually walk out of it. To be that close.
I was lucky. I think.
If I hadn't been saved by Inquisition soldiers, I don't know what would have happened.
Inquisition soldiers? That's not what I've heard. The breach, the Divine's death, the Wardens. It doesn't make sense. There's so much we don't know.
Did we already? I don't consider that he's going to follow blindly. I don't like blind followers.
Your experience with the Wardens will certainly be useful.
Mostly the treaties, I expect. Old parchments you're welcome to. What about you? How do you fit into all this?
I just want to create peace. Some worship me. I like that.
I just want to help stop the war. Try to put things back in order.
A worthy goal, one I'm happy to support. For me, I'll be satisfied so long as we find the bastards that killed the Divine. They owe us some answers.
Got that right. He has more... He still has more job. He still has more to talk about.
I've heard rumors of abandoned warden camps all over these parts. If we have time, I'd like to take a look. See if there's anything we can salvage.
Sure.
Let's talk about the Grey Wardens. You must know a lot about them.
The Wardens. I'm afraid we're less exciting than we seem.
I already knew that. First-hand experience there.
The Blight's been over for 10 years. What do Wardens do when the world's not ending?
There is still Darkspawn. Just because we killed so many in Ferelden doesn't mean they're gone. And the world is not so peaceful that there's no use for good men with swords.
Good point.
Sometimes you have to figure out for yourself what the pledge to protect others really means. It's not always about just archdemons and blights.
Your role in the Blight?
Where were you during the Blight?
I was in Ferelden, on my own, like always.
But you didn't help.
Quietly killed my fair share of Darkspawn too.
I never saw you at the battle.
You haven't had contact with other Wardens for a while. Why were you on your own?
It's what I've always done. Recruitment only requires one man.
Just the right one.
Besides, I've always been a loner. Works best for everyone that way.
Didn't get along with the rest, I guess.
So you have no idea where the rest of the Wardens are?
Do you find that odd? The Blight is over. We don't need an organized force.
You
And
always
orders
need an
don't change
organized
much
force.
from day to day. For the last 1,000 years or so, it's been just find Darkspawn, kill them, repeat as necessary.
Okay.
Let's continue this at another time.
As you wish. I'll be here if you need me.
I should have expected them to be found during a crafting area. Nothing to be found here. Just a real quick thing I need to take care of. There you are. You have a piece of armor you should actually not wear. That's more suited for... There you are, Solus. What about weapons? Yeah, that's better for him. Wait, what? He didn't equip it. There we go. Weird thing, he didn't equip it.
You know, Arthur, you actually are a good rider.
Alright, I still sometimes don't know my way around here. So Blackwall, Cullen, Cassandra, Sarah, Varric, Solus, Liliana, Vivienne, and Josephine. Where did I all of a sudden get that job from? Oh, wait, whoa. That's not gonna lead me to where I need to go. Where did I get that one? Blackwall possesses man that so that is him. Okay.
All things in this world are finite. What one man gains, another has lost.
So, Varric, got anything to say?
Need something?
Do harm to their
I have a personal
and
question.
their peace of
Can I ask you something, Varric?
You want to talk about me? I'm flattered. Also inclined toward extravagant lies.
Oh, nothing.
Thanks, Varric.
No problem.
Well then, Sarah is next on the list.
These truths the Maker has revealed to me.
I've met Warden Blackwall. Seems to be a good man.
He'll be an asset if we have to fight Darkspawn, at least.
Don't be a fool. Grey Wardens can kill anything that crawls, walks, or flies. The rest of you servicers should take lessons.
I don't think the bartender has anything interesting to say. So Sarah, how are things going in the bar?
Chasing mages, that's a templar's job. A big, armoured, pissed-off helm polisher. Not too late to go find some. Or stay home.
Thoughts on the Inquisition?
Is the Inquisition what you thought it would be?
Calling an Inquisition is a bit much. Let's not even know what they're chasing. Fair question for me as well, I suppose. Everybody following a rumour. At least I'm used to that.
Any opinions about our
What do you
allies?
think about the people who have gathered?
Again, with your people. Right, which ones?
Blackwall this time.
Any thoughts about Warden Blackwall?
He's too good, right? Like to see him out of that uniform. Not like that.
That's good for now.
We'll talk later.
Good, right? I'll be here.
Not surprised by that. So let's see if our friend Solus has anything interesting to say. Hey Baldy, you around? You are. Good.
Greetings.
Oh, he has nothing to say.
We'll talk later. Goodbye.
Look, I'm just trying to get all the info I can get out of these people. Let's see if we can upgrade something. Onyx. The rock armor. We can upgrade it. I haven't used much, so let's see. Potions, regeneration, Darien potion. That requires Black Lotus. Don't have that. Regenerate potion bonus. I guess it wouldn't hurt to do that. What about healing potion upgrades? Yeah, that ain't happening. Guess we could do that. Let's see. Grenades. Can we do something with the anti-even fire? Ooh, not happening today. We'll keep it like this.
Here, sir, with Cedric's compliments, sir.
Alright. Next up, Liliana.
It seems Blackwall knows nothing about the disappearance of the Grey Wardens. It's a disappointment.
But his
I
aid
am,
will be
however,
useful.
glad that he is with us, even if he was not what I expected. He seems to be a good man, and his experience will be an asset to the Inquisition. As for the other Wardens, I suppose we will have to keep looking.
You are well connected.
You seem to know a great many people.
I have made friends, and on occasion enemies. It's unavoidable.
Yep. What else? You met the hero Frel. Yes, you did!
You have a history with the Warden who ended the Blight, don't you?
He's always in my thoughts, even when we're far apart. My love is on a quest of his own. When the Inquisition has no further need of me, I will join him. For good this time. I have lost enough. I will not lose him as well.
Good to know. Did you know Hawk?
They say you spent some time in Lothering. Did you know the champion?
We spoke a few times. I seldom left the Chantry, and we never became more than casual acquaintances.
But you met him in...
I saw more of the Hawk twins. Bethany in particular. She would spend time in meditation at the Chantry, and she seemed to like my stories. The other one, the young man, he was a little surly. I did encounter the champion again later in Kirkwall. Those were terrible times.
Why were they terrible?
Was this when the Chantry was destroyed?
No, that happened later.
Just a little
But
bit
even
before.
then, the news coming out of Kirkwall was disheartening. There were some in Val Royeaux who wanted the Divine to declare an exalted march on Kirkwall. Justina sent me there to see if that could be avoided, to gather evidence to calm those agitating for war. I guess it didn't matter in the end.
We'll talk later.
We can continue this conversation later.
You know where I am.
I do. Alright.
Cedric's is the...
Intergeological survey. Several dwarf academic. I'm not gonna keep spending all that stuff
How
just
kind
to
of him.
That, and he said people who freeze to death don't spend much coin.
Well, he's not wrong.
Nope. And the elf fruit has grown back, as expected. You could scour this place 100 times over and still it will regrow, at least the common ones. So we'll go on this side, pick up the herbs, have a little chat with Vivienne and Josephine, and then move on. Then it's off to the Storm Coast. Do a little exploring, get Iron Bowl, and then, yeah, I'm still a bit, it's either going to be joining up with the Templars or mages. I'm still not convinced which one is in the better here. I don't trust either of them, to be honest. It just seems so... they don't really trust me either.
The chant of light. Only the word dispels the darkness upon us.
Well, then go say that word to the breach. See if it closes itself. Good luck with that.
Yes?
Let's see what happens. I want to help the circle.
Is there anything I can do to help your efforts at restoring the circle?
After the circles fell, their libraries were plundered by scavengers.
Oh.
1,000 years of recorded knowledge in the hands of bandits. It makes me sick to think of it. I've received news that some tomes have been located, if you are interested in righting this wrong.
I'll find them.
I'll look into it for you.
If you can take care of this matter, the circle would be in your debt.
Favors the first enchanter.
All things in this world are finite. What one man gains, another has
A
lost.
learned child is a blessing upon his parent and onto the maker.
There's too much talk. Let's make it stop.
Would you wish to
Make
have
it stop.
restored?
I do not believe that would be wise. The number of demons present might leave me vulnerable to possession. I might also experience feelings of discomfort over events that occurred while I was in this state. I can survive in this fashion.
As a gardener
Made whole again, I might not.
It is a terrible bargain we ask you to make.
She should see fire and go to.
You return.
Can I help with anything?
Is there anything I can do to help you or your people?
My healers would benefit from more supplies. We have run short of even common goods with so many wounded.
Like,
If you could deliver this list and the items on it to Quartermaster Thren, she could get us what we need. It may not seem like much, but it would enable my healers to save many lives.
let's talk about the chantry.
I don't believe I've had the chance to speak candidly with a revered mother. Can you tell me about the chantry?
I presume you mean deeper questions about the organization itself.
A bit, yeah.
Even in the circle at Ostwick, you should have been taught the basics.
I know the basics. It's bullshit. All of. How do you view Mitch?
What is your stance on magic?
Andraste put it simply. Magic must serve man, not rule over him. However, those words must be put into the proper historical context.
Exactly.
Andraste led a rebellion against the Tevinter Imperium, whose magisters controlled most of the world at the time. Even then, she never called for all mages to be put to death. She believed in peaceful coexistence.
This chantry is more stringent.
I don't recall the chantry being as tolerant of magic as you describe.
Hatred
No.
for it.
The chantry is an imperfect vessel, pulled in every direction by those who would steer its course. Yet the Templars rebelled precisely because divine Justinia was not restrictive enough.
Exactly.
Perhaps the Inquisition will find a better way.
Let's hope so. Why only human women?
Why does the chantry allow only human women to become priestesses?
The official doctrine is that elves and dwarves have turned further from the Maker than humanity. And as for men,
That's
the
just
chant
arrogant.
holds that they are more vulnerable to anger or passion. But in truth, it is simply political. Added after Andraste's death, like too many of our beliefs.
If you believe that, fight.
If you don't believe these restrictions are what Andraste wanted, why haven't you tried to change them?
Has the
It's one
current
voice.
state of the world not taught you the folly of fighting too many battles at once? I chose to use what power I had to help peasants forgotten by the nobles of Orlais. I believed there would be time to address their inequality under the chantry once we had saved them from starving.
What about the exalted marches?
There were calls for an exalted march to put down the Mage Rebellion. What was your opinion?
It was ignorant gossip. An exalted march only succeeds when it carries the will of the people. Even then, it cannot be undertaken lightly. People are too easily frightened. We cannot destroy everything they fear. An
Oh,
exalted
they do a
march
good
is
job at doing it,
justified
though.
only against a true threat to this whole world. It is an offense to the Maker to use it as a political bludgeon, or as a means of spreading the chant of light.
Then why do they keep doing it?
What about the exalted march that conquered the elves?
That is a hotly debated matter in some circles of the chantry. The elves had conquered Montsemard and threatened Val Royeaux itself. They were not helpless victims.
That's not what I heard.
But even then, Orlais was the only nation to provide troops. It was hardly an exalted march of all the faithful. The Maker wishes his world to spread by example, not by war. We win no converts with blood.
Then why does everyone try so hard to do
Farewell.
it that way?
Until next time.
Okay, let's deliver these herbs. Might help out a bit. Transition from the lighting is done brilliantly as well. There we go.
I don't know if apothecaries can get you that many healing drafts.
Your life is beautiful, sister. But it's just words. People need more than that right now. They need action.
My creator, judge me whole.
See if Josephine is having anything interesting to say.
Touch me with
Thank you.
fire that I be cleansed. Tell me I have sung.
If you're not using them later, Segrit is willing to pay.
I don't feel comfortable letting parts from demons be available for sale.
To be honest, I'm not sure who would buy them.
I don't think I have anything. Nope.
If you find anything, please bring it in.
So, Ambassador, anything to tell
What may
me?
I do for you?
Anything to report?
What do the people make of us?
Despite our fame, we're low on steadfast allies. We must aim for more.
I thought so. How are our guests?
Any visiting dignitaries I should watch out for?
Sir Griffith of Denerim, a most distinguished knight of the realm. He's defeated darkspawn, slain demons, chased down abominations. Just don't ask him about it over dinner. He spares no detail.
Okay. I know. Well,
You built for them the golden city, the center of all creation.
I'm trying to finish this video, lady.
And
Shut
for
up.
a time you dwelled among them, watched over them. As
I
a
just hate these
gardener
women.
watches the earth for the first signs of